Keeping in the Middle East, there has been much talk about the rivalry between ISIS and al-Qaeda, how they've split off into separate terror groups. But my next guest says there is one thing that actually unites them, and that's their shared goal of blowing up an American airliner. Airport security has been beefed up both here and across the Atlantic. Con Coughlin is the defense editor for the Telegraph newspaper and the author of Churchill's First War, Young Winston, and the Fight Against the Taliban. Con, I want to start with this where we're at. Why is this double whammy, so to speak, between al-Qaeda and ISIS now coming back together so dangerous?
Well, it all goes back to Yemen, where, as you probably know, there is a master al-Qaeda bomb maker at work, Ibrahim al-Siri, and a lot of the people fighting with him have now gone to Iraq and joined up with ISIS. And I'm told by my security contacts here in London that the really big fear now is that all the foreign jihadists, there are about 500 British citizens, for example, who've gone to fight with ISIS in Iraq. Other European countries, even Americans, have gone to fight in Iraq with ISIS. And the fear now is that they will be exposed to the new bomb-making technology that Syria has developed in Yemen, and that this will come back to Europe, where people will try and attack American-bound airliners. So that's basically the intelligence picture we're putting together here in London.
And as you look at this situation from here, do we yet know if any of these foreign fighters have come back? If so, what's the game plan for right now the European intelligence agencies to try and deal with this threat?
Well, first of all, the top priority of the European intelligence agencies that work very closely, of course, with their American counterparts, their top priority is to track their foreign nationals going to places like Syria and Iraq, and also to track them when they come home. Here in Britain, we've had several returning jihadis arrested. Some are awaiting trial for basically trying to recruit people to go on jihad and things like that. But also the jihadists, the returning jihadists, are taking a lot of measures, like faking their deaths, and rather remarkable things like that, to try and avoid detection so that they can get back into places like Britain and France, and then plot terror campaigns against Britain and also, of course, the United States.
Con, quickly here, though, is there a way that the security establishment can truly protect the airliners that are coming back across the Atlantic, or in your contacts seriously worried about this new threat?
No, they're very worried, because Syria in particular spends all his time trying to devise bombs that will not be detected by conventional airport security measures. Of course, this is the guy that did the underpants bomber in Detroit, and also the failed ink cartridge bombs to Chicago. And the fear is that one day one of these bombs is going to get through.
They only have to be right once, as everyone is famous for saying. As you're looking at this, Con, there seems to be at least some in Washington who have the attitude, if your enemies are fighting each other, as in some ways they are in Iraq, just let them go on fighting each other. But you seem to indicate that that's really not the policy that the United States should have towards ISIS versus everyone else there in Iraq.
Yeah, well, I mean, clearly we don't want to get involved on the ground with ISIS, really, particularly after recent experiences. But what I'm really saying is that the security and intelligence establishment on both sides of the Atlantic need to take this threat very seriously. There might be a very nasty civil war going on in Syria and Iraq, but the possibility that this will spill over outside the Middle East, back into Europe, back into America, is very strong indeed, in my opinion.
Well, and if that happens, the price of that would be very high. All right, Con Coughlin, live today from London. Thank you, sir.